What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and at the very least, hopefully a bit of entertainment. We're going to do a live reading of the Halls of Amenti because I haven't done a live reading in quite some time. So we'll do a live reading. And then maybe during the reading or maybe after, I feel like I'm on a podcast, I'm talking to the microphone, right? Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, George Nori, coast to coast. Today we're here to talk to you about aliens. Where they come from, where they've been. Are they hanging out in your garage? We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. What was that? Yeah, we're doing the reading of the Emerald Tablets, specifically Halls of Amenti. This is part 2. We had a discussion on it last time. If you check my if you didn't see the first video, check back 2 videos or so, 2 or 3 videos ago, and you'll see the first version of this. We talked about some cool things involving projection, which we'll probably cover the same things we did in the last video just to sort of round it off, but higher dimensional projections of vibrations onto the lower dimensions, but just as a light casts a shadow on an object, the shadow on the wall loses information from the original object, so it's kind of the same but not really. We talked about that. We'll talk about that more in this video, but we'll also do some fun and straight up do the live reading, which we haven't done in a while, and is one of my favorite parts of this book, or of this channel, are my live readings, whether it's audiobook. I guess that's not live, just reading in general. I like reading to people. I don't know what it is, but I used to read to my plants all the time. Before I had a YouTube channel, I literally read my cannabis plants the entirety of The Hobbit. I sat in the closet with him, tiny ass closet, had like 4 plants, 2 lamps in there, and I'm just in there reading The Hobbit, and those are some of the dankiest, most wonderful plants I've ever grown in my life, so I can attest to that. Anywho, let's see. Oh, make sure everyone, as you come in, hit the like button, so that I'm thinking maybe that has to do something with how many people get notified of my live. Maybe because a lot of people are hitting me up saying, hey man, you're always going live, and I'm not getting the videos. I don't know, or I'm not getting the notifications, and I don't know if that's YouTube just trying to keep a brother down, or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what likes do during the lives, is YouTube goes, oh, there's 6 people in the room, there's 6 likes, we'll broadcast it to the rest of the squad. Because as you guys know, you don't always get updates from from the YouTubers that you follow. Anywho, Carlos Rosario, welcome brother. Tracy, Barbara, how's it going? Art Campos, what's cracking my dude? Malia, hello fam. Elizabeth, you haven't missed anything yet. We just started, or we actually haven't even started yet. We only started this live like I don't know how many minutes ago, but recently. We haven't started reading yet. Yesenia, how's it going? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Hope all you guys are doing well, actually. As you can see, I finally have my little space of soon. Check this out. All right, allow me a minute to ramble to let people get in the room. So don't leave. We're gonna start the reading in a second. I just want people to filter in. In the meantime, check this out. I have a couple $100 that I've been saving in the Patreon for this channel, like $300 or something like that, and I'm about to buy stained glass for this window behind me, so when I do the lives, it's got just a magnificent stained glass. What do you guys think? I'm super down. And then maybe put my poster back up on this side so we can have it be a little more, you know what I mean, official. Let's fucking go. MCQ, by the way, I know I'm updating way too much. We're about to hit 10k, you guys. We're at like 9,980 something. We might even hit 10k during this video, so you guys can be like, I was there when it happened. I was at the tipping point, you guys. let's see, what are we at? 9,988. So we're 12 away from 10K, you guys. I'm super fucking excited. Okay. Stephanie Donnie, how's it going? Igualmente. Jenny Pete, how's it going? Dude, trying to keep the 200 million squad down. It cannot. Hell yeah. Thanks, brother. Thanks. MCQ, we're hit. There's a $200 million squad, and that's what the hashtag 200 mil stands for. And make sure you guys stay up on it. How to attract money, your crush, and luxury. I just got a YouTube video update. How to attract love, money in your relationship. A free candle to whoever can name this song, by the way. Name and composer, and we'll start the live reading, I swear, in about 45 seconds. We are on the 9.9K squad. Nini, I see you, Genie Nini. Should we go lo-fi hip-hop in the background of the reading, you guys, or should we do like the Daduk flute like we used to do? We can do some, where is it at? We can go Middle Eastern on them and like really change up the vibe. What do you guys think? Composed by Mana Bliss. I wish I composed that. Bada bing, bada boom. Ziamara? Oh man, I used to sing choir with a girl whose name is Ziamara, and I haven't met one since. Alright, we're gonna start, you guys. Everybody smash that like button so that we can get as many of the squad in here as we can. Again, I'm Keith, your host, your man of letters, here to bring a knowledge, information, and entertainment. And thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. It's a Friday night. You guys could be out getting down, shaking that ass, as one might say, but you're not. You're hanging out with the squad, and we appreciate. We salute you. We salute you. So, that being said, if at any point the audio gets weird, the music is too loud, the voice sounds muffled, let me know, because I'm adjusting audio settings on the fly. Oh my god, Keith, I totally forgot to pull up the link before we started. Keith, how unprofessional of you. Also, if you guys are wondering what this is, you're thinking, Keith, it looks like you just put a sock on your microphone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's because I did put a sock on my microphone. It's my homemade pop filter. As soon as I pull up, come on, Emerald tablets. I guess this is time for you guys to pack your bowls or pour your glasses of wine. Mobhead. Timestamp 10 minutes for people who are watching after this. Okay, here we go. ladies and gentlemen, Emerald Tablets. Tablet 2. The Halls of Amenti. Deep in the earth's heart in the halls of Amenti, far neath the islands of sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in the fire of the infinite all. Far in the past time, lost in the space-time, the children of light looked down on the world, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force that came from beyond. Knew they that only by freedom and freedom from bondage could man ever rise from the earth to the sun. So already we have a couple things going on. I'll keep going. I'll be able to wrap up the next few paragraphs. I don't want to stop too much, but down they descended and created bodies, taking the semblance of men as their own. The masters of everything said after their forming, "We are they who were formed from the space dust, partaking of life from the infinite all, living in the world as children of men, like and yet unlike the children of men. Then, for a dwelling place, far neath the earth's crust, blasted great spaces, they by their power, spaces apart from the children of men, surrounded them by forces and power, shielded from harm they the halls of the dead." Alright, so we'll break down that first part because we're starting to change things. We've already gotten a glimpse of what it means to exist on Earth as the children of men. Deep in their light halls of Amenti, with the islands of space-time. The children of light looked down on the world. So that's our first clue. They're looking down on the world. So we can't, remember if you watched the last video on the Emerald Tablets, things get lost in translation. Let me see if I can find a good example. Here's a perfect example. You guys look at my screen, or look at your screen, look what I'm doing. You see my hand, and you see the shadow on the wall. So, the hand is 3-dimension, and the shadow is 2-dimension. Is that the prince? Is that my baby? Sorry, we have a guest appearance by Atlas. What's up, Prince? He's just smiling at me. Prince, you want to say it? Hold on, we're gonna take it. You guys gotta see Atlas. It's been Atlas, come see your people. It's been a while. Come say hi, Prince. Okay. Now tell him about the halls of Amenti. No, don't. He says the fire. Yeah, the fire. Yeah, well, you're on it. Oh, the fire. What else? No. He says that sometimes the biggest truths can't be said; they must be felt. Wise words, Atlas. Wise words. Wow. Sorry. Bye, sweet prince. Ooh. The shadow. Alright, back to the shadow. Those of you who are listening and not looking, I'm basically holding my hand up. There's a shadow on the wall. 3-dimension is my hand, right? 3-dimensional space. 2D, 2-dimension, flat plane, is the shadow on the wall. The shadow represents my hand, but because you're further down in dimensions, from 3 to 2, you lose information in the process. That's why a lot of the tablets, and a lot of higher knowledge, generally speaking, period, is written in code, because it's like, it's not that they do it on purpose, it's that they sometimes code is on purpose, but you lose information. Like, you straight up lose information when you go from higher to lower. It's just it's what happens, you know. So that's where we're getting. The children of light looked down on the world. They were light, closer to the source, higher vibration, looking down on the earth, looking down through dimensions. That's what's happening. They're looking down through dimensions, not just looking. They're not in space looking at planet Earth, going, oh. So, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force that came from beyond, Sorry, I'm messing with the mic. Knew only by freedom from bondage could man ever rise from earth to sun. Earth is what? Material. The earth is a material thing, but dense 3D. So it says, knew they that only by freedom from bondage could man ever rise from earth to the sun, from the 3D to the land beyond. So down they descended. They came down to the third dimension. And created bodies taking the semblance of men. You can't operate on the third dimension without a third dimensional vehicle. That's what the body is. Some say it's a prison, but the not so dark side of that, you could just say that it's the vehicle by which consciousness moves around in. So they had to take form. They had to come down in human form. Otherwise, how else are they going to get here? How else are they going to operate in this world? How long is this chapter? I don't want to talk too much, and then it's pretty short. So how you guys holding up? You still there? Should I check in on the chat room and make sure nothing weird's going on? Dang, we're at 9.99k. What up, 999, you guys? That's awesome. We're gonna hit 10k while making a video on the Emerald tablets. This is like, talk about things coming full circle. This is the first video I put out on this channel. It was my Emerald tablets audiobook. Yeah, he did get big, didn't he? Yes, I forgot that was bound by the force that came from beyond. That's a good one, Yesenia. Uh-oh. Are you guys seeing anything? I'm not sure. I updated everyone. I don't know where they're at. John Smith, I was just texting him, so he's probably around. Maybe he's... John Smith lives in Canada, by the way, you guys. Oh, we had a good question. So unless something's bugging out, we'll answer that question. So Yesenia says, bound from the force that came from beyond. Gravity? Question mark. I don't think it's gravity. Also, it could be. I have no fucking clue. But here's I don't think we know this yet in the text. Bound from the force that came beyond. I don't think we know the answer to that yet as far as we've written. So it might be easier if I came back to this question later on in the chapter. However, the halls of Amenti... Man, this goes... You've got the gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper puts up levels in between him and paradise, if you will. The guardians of the 8 levels are called the archons. The gatekeeper is like, for example, the god of the Old Testament, who was obviously a friggin' the Greeks called him a demiurge. Demiurge? It's a wild ass name. Is it? Hold on. Demiurge. And it's like, starting to ramble. The God of the Old Testament was vengeful, jealous, envious, spiteful, prone to violent anger and temper, supported rape, or at least didn't mind that rape happened, destroyed humanity because they were becoming like the gods and they were afraid how powerful they were, so they destroyed humanity and confounded their speech. Like, all kinds of heinous shit went on in the Old Testament, where if you read it objectively, you're like, this God is awful. So the God of the Old Testament is not an all-loving God, and all it takes is for you to read the Bible to see that. Anywho, that's the gate. That's one of the gatekeepers to get to paradise. So back to your question, what's the force that holds us from beyond? I think that the force that holds us from beyond is, I don't know. We are trapped here because of what we resonate with. And when we get to each archon, so the story is told, each archon vibrates at a certain frequency resonance. And if we match with that, if we evoke that by our resonance, by who we are, those things wake up at the gates, catch us, and cast us back down to earth. It's not until we rise above that plane in frequency do we pass the archons at the gate, past the gatekeepers. So that I think what holds us is a sort of resonance that we have to things that are not of the highest level, not of the highest frequency. When we resonate with things at a lower frequency, we stay at a lower frequency. At least that's what I think. I think that's what they're talking about. But like I said, we haven't gotten that much information, so we'll keep reading the chapter. And let me know if I'm talking too much in between the readings, because I have been known to talk too much. Okay. Side by side then placed they other spaces, filled them with life and with light from above. Builded they then the halls of Amenti, that they might dwell eternally there, living with life to eternity's end. 32 were there of the children, sons of light who had come among men, seeking to free from the bondage of darkness those who were bound by the force beyond them. Deep in the halls of life grew a flower, flaming, expanding, driving backward the night. Placed in the center, a ray of great potence, life-giving, light-giving, filling with power all who came near it. Placed they around it thrones, 32, places for each of the children of light, placed so that they were bathed in radiance, filled with the life from the eternal light. There, time after time, placed they their first created bodies, so that they might be filled with the spirit of life. 100 years out of each 1,000 must the life-giving light flame forth on their bodies, quickening, awakening the spirit of life. There, in this circle from eon to eon, sit the great masters, living a life not known among men. There in the halls of life they lie sleeping, free flows their soul through the bodies of men. Time after time, while their bodies lie sleeping, incarnate they in the bodies of men, teaching and guiding onward and upward, out of the darkness into the light. There in the hall of life, filled with their... Well, actually, let's go back right there. So we have the children of men, earth-dwelling, three-dimensional. We have the children of light, higher dimensional. They come down from paradise, and the halls of Amenti are this sort of a gateway, right, to the higher realms. And these beings incarnate into... So the halls of Amenti is not on Earth. That's what I was trying to tell you guys earlier. It's not like an... Or it could be. It could have a physical gateway on Earth. You know, there's always a tie, right? As above, so below. So there's a physical representation of the halls of Amenti. It's earthbound side, but where it exists, as far as the story goes, is space in between paradise and in between Earth, and this is where these light beings are sitting, projecting themselves into human bodies, because that's how they do their human bidding, is through human bodies. That's how they do their 3D bidding, by occupying 3D space and going about their days, projecting from the halls of Amenti. So that's who we're dealing with. These sons of light chilling in the halls of Amenti, which is this gateway place in between there and here, and they're projecting themselves into human bodies so that they can teach men how to get to the light, how to raise in vibration. So continuing, he who by progress has grown from the darkness, lifted himself from night into light. Free is he made of the halls of Amenti, free of the flower of light and life. Guided he then by wisdom and knowledge, passes from men to the Master of Life. There he may dwell, as one with the Masters, free from the bonds of the darkness of night. Seated within the flower of radiance sit 7 lords from the space-time above us, helping and guiding through infinite wisdom, the pathway through the time of the children of men. Mighty and strange they, veiled with their power, silent, all-knowing, drawing the life force, different, yet one with the children of men. Aye, yes, different, and yet one with the children of light. So that's actually a huge paragraph. I remember reading that paragraph a lot and not actually like grasping it until recently. Like, every time I read the Emerald Tablets, this shit happens. But it's just, right now we're talking about the seven masters who guide the levels above, that are helping guide children of men. It says, mighty and strange they, veiled with their power. So they use their power to hide themselves. Silent, yet all-knowing, drawing the life force. Different, yet one with the children of men. So it's saying they're different, yet one with the children of men. They're different, yet one with you and I. And then it says, I, different, and yet one with the children of light. So they are neither children of light nor children of men. These lords from the space-times above us. Interesting, right? They're neither children of light nor children of men. Alike to both, but are neither. Seven, seated within the flower of radiance. I'm not quite sure what flower of radiance means, though. I could speculate, but I don't really have... Someone might have to help me out with that. Custodians and watchers of the force of man's bondage, ready to loose when the light has been reached. First and most mighty sits the veiled presence, Lord of lords, the infinite 9, over the other from each other, the lords of the cycles. 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, each with his mission, each with his powers, guiding, directing the destiny of man. There sit they, mighty and potent, free of all time and space. Not of this world they, yet akin to it. Elder brothers they of the children of men, judging and weighing, they with their wisdom, watching the progress of light among men. So these are the gatekeepers. But notice it says custodians and watchers of the force of man's bondage. So these people, right, that do help us get to the next level. Check this out. I don't think I've noticed this before. Says helping men reach, mankind reach the heavens. But yet at the same time, they are custodians and watchers of the force of man's bondage. So that thing that holds us here in place, they are the custodians of it. They are the watchers and the custodians of the force that holds us in bondage. Meaning they manage it. They are the ones controlling whether we get by or not. They are trying to help us, but they're not just going to give it to us for no reason. I think why is because they can't. Because it's about frequencies and resonance. It's about matching the resonance. We talk about resonance all the fucking time on this channel. I'll say it again. The guitar string. If there's anybody new, sorry for you guys who've been here. You hear this story 1,000 times. Here's 1,001. But you have 2 strings on 2 different guitars that tuned to the same frequency. So you have 2 different guitars, but the same E string on either guitar. You pluck one E string and the other E string vibrates without having to touch it. That's what resonance is. It's the synchronous vibrations of neighboring objects. And this works on every level. Every level. When we match with something, we stimulate it. We send out our vibrations just like the guitar string, and when there is another thing out there in the world that matches that same frequency, it will also, like the guitar string, start to vibrate. So they can't control vibrations, right? They can't. The Watchers can't stop resonance. They can't mute the law of vibration. The law of vibration is immutable by the all itself, right? But no god or goddess or any entity can freeze these. They're just the custodians of it. It's our job to do a handful of things. Actually, we'll get into that in a second. What it is our job here to do. Let me just pull up the YouTube room and make sure that nothing weird's going on. Reading your guys' comments, they are fascinating, by the way. Take your time, Agent Smith. I just wanted to shoot you a message to make sure that in case you didn't get notified of it. Barbara says, I thought the halls of Amenti were located in the Great Pyramid under the sarcophagus. They could be the physical manifestation of it. We'll get to it in a second here, though. That says that the halls of Amenti is in between worlds, but we'll the Emerald Tablets shouldn't be taken literally. We talked about this in the last video and at the beginning of this one. We're going forward. We can't go backwards. We're going forward. I say gravity, Keith, because that's the force that keeps us bound to Earth. I think these mythos are very scientifically inclined. Ooh, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Yesenia. Well said, Terry. Your chakra system. Well said. Halls of Amenti is a portal. Halls of Amenti isn't a portal. It is a plate. It is another dimension that exists on a different plane in between our realm. This is according to the text, different from our realm and different from the heavens. It's almost a passing place. It's not the portal itself. Like a portal is just a portal that takes you to the halls of Amenti, but there's a whole bunch of shit going on that we'll get to in this chapter in a second of like what it quote unquote actually is. So we'll keep reading. Okay, it says, there before them was I led by the dweller, watched him blend with one from above. Then from he came forth a voice saying, great art thou, thoth, among children of men, free henceforth of the halls of Amenti, master of life among children of men. Taste not of death except as thou willest. Drink thou of life to eternity's end. Henceforth forever is life thine. Henceforth forever is life thine for the taking. Henceforth is death at the call of thy hand. So here we see that again, oh shit, I hit the wrong button. That the halls of Amenti aren't a portal. They're much, much more than that. Part of our bondage here is the halls of Amenti. Part of what the halls of Amenti does is keep us here on Earth. That's where we have to rise through the halls of Amenti, get past each of the gatekeepers to be set free in paradise. If we resonate with one of the gatekeepers in the halls of Amenti, they kick us back down into Earth. And check this, what we just read says, so Thoth gets taken to the dweller, and he heard a voice, and the voice said, "Great art thou, Thoth, among children of men. Free henceforth of the halls of Amenti." So he's been freed from the halls of Amenti. You know what I mean? He's been freed from them, and as a result is free from life and death as we see it on Earth, as the death that we know, losing our memory, violent, catastrophic, sometimes just like gut-wrenchingly painful. When we free ourselves from that sort of karmic debt, then we're free from life and death in the 3D sense, and we are free, as they say to Thoth, we are free henceforth of the halls of Amenti, master of life, right? Taste not of death except as you will it. Taste not of, or drink thou of life to eternity's end. Henceforth forever is life, thine for the taking. Henceforth is death at the call of thy hand. So we'll keep going. Dwell here or leave here when thou desireth. Free is Amenti to the Son of Man. Take thou up life in what form thou desireth. Child of the light that has grown among men. Choose thou thy work, for all must labor. Never be free from the pathway of light. One step hast thou gained on the long pathway upward. Infinite now is the mountain of light. Each step thou taketh but heightens the mountain. All of thy progress but lengthens the goal. Let those with eyes. Approach ye ever the infinite wisdom. Ever before thee recedes the goal. Free are ye made now of the halls of Amenti, to walk hand in hand with the lords of the world. One in one purpose, working together, bring of light to the children of men. Then from his throne came one of the masters, taking my hand and leading me onward, through all the halls of the deep hidden land, led me through the halls of Amenti, showing the mysteries that are known not to man. The halls of Amenti can also be, some people say that that's also where the Akashic records are. It's where time, past, present, future all exist at the same time. Anywho, through the dark passage downward he led me, into the hall where sit the dark death. Vast as space lay the great hall before me, walled by darkness, but yet filled with light. So, check this out. Vast as space lay the great hall before me, walled by darkness, but yet filled with light. What does that sound like to you guys? It's fucking our existence. Space. Like, space is blackness. Vast, literally vast as space lay the great hall. But filled with what? Stars. What do stars do? Cast light. Walled by darkness, but yet filled with light. That's where the dark death, the master of death, he's basically going to see the master of death in the halls of Amenti, led by another master. So he says, before me arose a great throne of darkness. Veiled on it sat a figure of night. Darker than darkness sat the great figure, dark with the darkness not of the night. Before it then paused the master, speaking, the word that brings about life. O master of darkness, guide of the way from life unto life, before thee I bring a son of the morning. Touch him not. I'm going to start this over. This is one of the masters of the halls of Amenti speaking to the master of death in a different part of the halls of Amenti. He was led down, which makes sense because the underworld is usually death. And so the master says to the master of darkness, he says, I'll try to give it like an epic Egyptian god voice. O Master of Darkness, Guide of the way from life unto life, before thee I bring a son of the morning. Touch him not ever with the power of night. Call not his flame to the darkness of night. Know him and see him, one of our brothers, lifted from darkness into light. Release thou his flame from its bondage, free let it flame through the darkness of night. Then raised the hand of the figure, forth came a flame that grew clear and bright, rolled back swiftly the curtain of darkness, unveiled the hall from the darkness of night. Ooh, that's pretty gangster. So remember how we were in space, a room walled with darkness but filled with light. So this figure just raised his hand. A flame that grew clear and bright swiftly rolled back the curtain of darkness and unveiled the entire hall from the darkness. Then grew in the great space before me flame after flame from the veil of the night. Uncounted millions leaped they before me, some flaming forth as flowers of fire. Others there were that shed a dim radiance, flowing but faintly from out of the night. So that we're basically what happened is this dark figure, the Master of Darkness, unveiled a room in the halls of Amenti, and what shone were souls. We're now looking at souls. The two masters and Thoth are now looking at souls of humanity. So keep that in mind. He says, then grew in the great space before me flame after flame from the veil of the night. Uncounted millions leapt they before me, some flaming forth as flowers of fire. Others there were that shed a dim radiance, flowing but faintly from out of the night. Some there were that faded swiftly, others that grew from a small spark of light, each surrounded by its dim veil of darkness, yet flaming with light that could never be quenched. Coming and going like fireflies in springtime, filled they with space, with light, and with life. Fuck, this is... I've never read the tablets like this before, but it's like... Oh man, it's I wish someone would do an animation to this. This is absolutely beautiful. It's like dancing human souls going in and out of darkness. Like fireflies, he says, just flickering on and off. Life, death, on, off. But constantly shrouded with a veil of darkness. That's our ignorance. Or is it? I mean, I'm calling it our ignorance, but it could be a bunch of things. Probably stemming from ignorance. Anywho, says each surrounded by its dim veil of darkness, but flaming with light that could never be quenched. Our souls, our light cannot be quenched, right? The source cannot be cut off because we're part of source, but what can happen is our lights can be dimmed, veiled by the veil of darkness. Anywho, so then spoke a voice mighty and solemn, saying, these are lights that are souls among men, growing and fading, existing forever, changing yet living, through death into life. When they have bloomed into flower, reached the zenith of growth in their life, swiftly then send I my veil of darkness, shrouding and changing to new forms of life. So it's the Master of Death that drops that veil of darkness on us. Once we hit our apex, this is a glimpse of the law of rhythm that I talk about in the Hermetic philosophy, which is pulled from the Emerald Tablets. This is like a 10-minute lecture at least in its own sense, but I'll paraphrase. When you reach the apex, you have nowhere to go but down. When you reach your apex, you have nowhere to go but down. But, right, because what goes up must come down. But there's always balance. You can never get. That's one of the laws that you cannot get rid of. But if we get rid of the apex, we get rid of whatever the opposite word of an apex is. What's the opposite of apex? The low point. Rock bottom. See, because to introduce one thing is to introduce its opposite. That's the law of polarity. You can't have one thing without its opposite. But what you can do, in this case, I'm just throwing shit out. I'm just shooting from the hip here. If you detach from the swing altogether, you can't stop the swing of rhythm. You can't stop that. You have to have two things and swing back between those two things. But you can disassociate from that swing and rise above it. This is why people say not to soak up compliments too much, because you get used to relying on other people making you feel good. So the more you lean into compliments, by definition, the more you lean into criticism. But as soon as you say fuck all of it, the criticism and the compliments, I do what I do regardless of whether you think I'm doing the right thing or not, or regardless whether you approve or whether you think it's a good job. It's like, I don't care what you have to say, good or bad. I just do what I do. That's one example of letting go of the swing altogether, of not stopping the swing, just not participating in it. Anywho, let's keep going. Steadily upward through the ages, growing, expanding into yet another flame, lighting the darkness with greater power, quenched yet unquenched by the veil of the night. So grows the soul of man ever upward, quenched yet unquenched by the darkness of night. I, death, come, and yet I remain not. For life eternal exists in the all, only an obstacle I in the pathway, quick to be conquered by the infinite light. I'm going to read that again, you guys. I, death, come, and yet I remain not. For life eternal exists in the all, only an obstacle I in the pathway, quick to be conquered by the infinite light. Awaken, O flame that burns ever inward. Flame forth and conquer the veil of the night. That might be the whole fucking catch to this whole chapter. And it's only 2 lines in that whole stanza. They just snuck it in there. Awaken, O flame that burns ever inward. We assume flames burst and they cast light outside. This candle, for example, is casting light onto me. You can see the candlelight on my hands. It's casting light outside of itself. But one must awaken the flame that burns ever from the inside. Let me double check the chat room, make sure nothing weird's going on. Sorry, you guys. I'm only going to be able to check your comments like every 10 minutes, so if you ask something. You guys have been busy in the chat room. Nice. Terry, Randy, Lee, we're going to have to get you to dive into that because you're speaking Russian right now. Ooh, the 42 Commandments of Maat. Remind me, I would love to do that, Ramon. Draco, what's cracking? Ooh, take it easy, Yesenia. Thanks for being here while you were. Dope. All right, we'll keep going. Then in the midst of the flames and the darkness grew there one that drove forth the night, flaming, expanding ever brighter until at last nothing was left but light. Then spoke my guide, the voice of the Master. See your own soul as it grows in the light, free now forever from the Lord of the night. Forever he led me through many great spaces filled with the mysteries of the children of light. Mysteries that man... Whoa. So he's being shown mysteries that not even the children of the light know what the hell is going on. So this was after he was freed from darkness, freed from the halls of Amenti. It said, forward he led me through great spaces filled with the mysteries of the children of light, mysteries that man may never know, not until he too is a son of the light. Backward, then, he led me into the light of the hall of light. Knelt I then before the great masters, lords of all, from the cycles above. Spoke he then with the words of great power, saying, thou hast been made free of the halls of Amenti. Choose thou thy work among the children of men. Then I spoke, O great master, let me be a teacher of men, leading them onward and upward until they too are lights among men, freed from the veil of the night that surrounds them, flaming with light that shall shine among men. Spoke to me then the voice, go as yet will, so be it decreed. Master are ye of your destiny, free to take or reject at will. Take ye the power, take ye the wisdom, shine as a light among the children of men. Upward then led me the dweller. Dwelt I again among the children of men, teaching and showing some of my wisdom, son of the light, a fire among men. Now again I tread the path downward, seeking the light in the darkness of night. Hold ye and keep ye, preserve my record. Guide shall it be to the children of men. End. We are in the darkness, in other words. Welp. The cry of the Armenian god. Oh no, wrong button. So you guys, where are we? What the heck? Where's the thing at? Sorry, I lost you guys' chat room. I hope that was useful for you guys. It was sure as hell useful for I. 7, Lord of Space-Time, throat, Huertal. 8, Lord of Progress, Judge Third Eyes. Crown Ardel. Don't worry about it, Raymond L. Even if you guys do your things, you don't have to worry about making all the lives. I appreciate it, though. I know, Raymond. The Emerald Tablets for me have been coming in hot the past couple weeks. And then like, and then Ashira went and did, went and fucking linked up with the homie, what's his name, Carson, the Emerald Tablets master. And I was like, dude, all kinds of tablet shit's been popping up like crazy lately. So, I've been reading them through different eyes ever since I had that, you know, loss of translation idea from higher dimensions to lower ones. I've been reading it with a completely different set of perception, if you will, and it's made all the difference, man. It's made all the difference. The mystery school, nice. I'd like to join that mystery school of his, or at least see one of his seminars. I would love to see one of his seminars. But anybody else wanted to chime in on anything? All y'all who just checked in, if you just missed the whole thing. If you're in the room and you just filled in, we did a reading of the Halls of Amenti, and then we slammed some deep diving. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop, or any other musings, feel free to drop drop them in there. It's worth it. I bet it is, dude. I bet it is. I think the freaking gem goddess. I was watching her story on Instagram, and she took a picture of Billy Carson's interview on Gaia. And she's like, "Oh my God, just watched Billy Carson's interview on Gaia. It was the best thing ever." And I was like, "Fuck, so much Emerald Tablet stuff is coming up, especially that dude in particular." Oh, damn. Thanks, Ramon. Thanks for joining the Patreon, man. I appreciate it. I really do. I really, really do. It's, hell yeah. Thanks, brother. I appreciate joining the Patreon. I do. I understand Atlantis as a growing up of the conscious of man. This has been a reoccurring message about reincarnation and the demiurge. I know the demiurge has been popping up a lot for me too lately. Spooky, spooky. Noodle, what's cracking, Noodle? I just had some bomb noodles for dinner the other day. Shit was fire. Super fire. Alright, y'all. What video should we do next? What topic should we slam? What else is good out there? I mean, I know there's a lot, actually. There's a ton of stuff good out there, but you know what I mean. Pikatrix. What the hell is Pikatrix? Anime? 400-page book of magic and astrology, originally written... Oh, I've come across this before. I saw a list of like the 10 most haunted books that you shouldn't read. I think Pikatrix was one of those. I'll keep that tab open though. Oh man. I want to play video games again so bad, you guys. I'm listening to the Elder Scrolls soundtrack right now, and I'm just having nostalgia. I'm like, oh, days spent in Morrowind running around fighting monsters and getting cool armor and shit. Ma'at. Alright, I like that. The 42 Commandments of Ma'at. Let's do that one. We'll do that one in the next video. I have not committed sin, robbery with violence, stolen, slain men or women, stolen, swindled offerings. I like how one of the laws in here is I have not stolen from God/goddess. Were these written at a time when gods walked the earth, maybe? Damn, these are good. I like those. We'll do a video on that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow or something. Also, by the way, you guys might officially be a part of... Did we get it? Ah, we're at 9,993. We're only 7 subscribers away from 10K. I'm curious if I should just go live right now and be like, countdown to 10K, and just chill until we hit 10,000 subscribers, because I'm super excited right now. So I've heard. I like how you follow up Trismegistus with "so I've heard."
Don't miss a moment. Live TV from 70+ channels. YouTube TV. Start streaming now.
Life can be a pain in the butt, but you don't have to stand for it. You can sit.
Come on, I hate these dumbass commercials. There we go. Good night, Draco. For those of you that are here, for those of you that are just checking in, we concluded the lecture / musing, and I'm now just stalling, hoping that during the live I'll hit 10K subscribers, because right now I'm at 9,993. And I'm super, and don't let my cool facade fool you, because I'm stoked as fuck right now. You can't. I don't actually know shit, I repeat. And you might be the smartest of all of us for that, Trismegistus. You might be the smartest of us all for that. That's too funny. Everyone hit the like button in the channel right now, so that this video can get blasted. And I don't know what else after that happens, I guess. A lot. People first, metaphysics. I just saw that name somewhere. Where did I see that name at? I don't know. Oh shit, here's something that we could actually talk about. Q Reeves. You guys know Q Reeves? He's coming on the channel Sunday. He's a regression practitioner, but that's just what he does by trade. I watched a couple of his videos, and the dude obviously goes deep as fuck, though he doesn't talk about, I'm sure, 90% of what's going on in his head. I can just fucking tell. So I'm getting him on the live. I'm getting him on the live Sunday evening, probably around. Damn. Oh shit. My bad, you guys. It told me that my streaming software crashed, and so I just started dicking around on my phone. I didn't know it started back up again. That's about it. I'm literally just stalling. We lost a couple subscribers, so I might not break 10K for another couple hours. You can't wait that long. I'm trying to watch a movie. You guys have any good movie suggestions? He was on Black Magic 363 channel. Yes. Oh, that's right. We're talking about Q Reeves. If you guys have some good fucking quality questions for him, like, make them interesting. Like, write down 10 questions that like pertain to him, or like one. Ask one question that pertains to him that you can't answer on Google. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to ask him like Googleable shit, if that makes sense, you know. So watch his videos. He's on it. He's on top of a lot of like side avenues of knowledge and information. And he plugs in a lot of different stuff. I heard him talk about Greek mythology and Norse mythology, occult and Lemuria, and like ancient civilizations and past life regressions. Like he's a pretty well-rounded individual. So I'm stoked to talk to him on the channel Sunday. So make sure you tune in, and yeah, keep that in mind for Q Reeves. Other than that, I do declare that we're done. Alright, thanks for being here, you guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Fridays, if it's chill or you're going out or you're listening to this on a different day. Either way, peace out, fam. All the best.